Hello everybody, Tony Parsons with Wolter Group. Just wanted to take a quick moment to throw together a video discussing forklift safety and center of gravity. Some of the things that we might not know about center of gravity is how the load affects it. You can think about this being back to a teeter-totter. As it rocks back and forth, we have to figure out where are we balanced. If we are the smaller kid up in the air, when we slide out, that brings it back down. This is known as inch-pound capacity termination. Depending on where the load is positioned, will depend on how the truck balances out, nice and safe, or if it's too far out and we might tip. When you think about the load, think about your perfect load center, 4-foot pallet and a 4-foot pallet. Halfway out, halfway up. This creates a 24-inch load center. If we are further out, you want to be aware of how this does affect our capacity. Next part up is think about your overall load length. A perfect pallet, we're still good to go. But if that load is twice as long, obviously it's going to affect your capacity. If you have a load that is unbalanced, you've got a heavier end, a lighter end. Make sure the heavier end is always towards the forklift. Next, let's think about the horizontal triangle. You can see on the bottom of the forklift, we've got a horizontal triangle, wide up front, comes to a point in the back. What creates this triangle is sometimes not the best represented. Our drive axle up front creates a nice wide platform, transfer the weight for the tires contact the ground to the frame, nice wide solid base up front. The problem is in the back, this comes to a point. Now I've got two wheels up in front, two wheels in back. Even though it steers in the back, and we have the counterweight in the back, neither one of those create our triangle. If we were to switch over to the wire forklift model, we would see, with a wire triangle forklift, the steer axle pivot point. This creates only one contact point between the wheels and the frame in the back. Therefore, we have a triangle that's wide up front, narrow in the back, commonly referred to as the horizontal triangle. When we go up with those 3 points of contact, we have the vertical triangle. How tall and how wide really isn't that important to us. The important part is that we keep the center of gravity inside at all times. When discussing the center of gravity, it's important to realize that what we do affects and changes it. For instance, when we're going to use the forklift, we drive the forks into the load. Load position is dramatically going to affect the overall forklift stability, as well as load height for traveling, and load weight. We have to make sure we have the right forklift for that load. When we're traveling from point A to point B, the steer axle pivot point is making up for uneven ground that allows all four wheels to stay on the ground. As we're traveling, we're going to stop once we get to the racking. With a nice distance between the front of the forklift and the racking, we increase our load height. The higher we go, the higher our center of gravity goes. We've got tilt that is dramatically going to affect it. Obviously, tilting forwards with a loaded height could result in a tip over. When we're up in the air and we go to position that load, not much of an angle back and forth for a side shifter would affect the problem as well. What we want to be careful with is realizing that everything the driver does affects or changes our center of gravity. This includes, to recap, load height, weight, position, change in speed, steering, load lifting, tilting, and side shifting as well. For any other recommendations as far as how to discuss this stuff, we'd be happy to talk to you even further. Please reach out at the information provided. Thank you.